I don't think we talk about how hard it is to mentally transition your self-image when you have autism, because it is genuinely so hard. Example and a little story time. I dropped out of university a few months ago, but that decision was several years in the making. And I think it's because I was just so rigid in this belief that I am a person who is a student. Because for all of my memorable history, I have always been a student. And it was really deeply ingrained in me that I'm going to continue to be a student and I'm going to be a person with a university degree. And that is something that I believed so deeply and very rigidly about myself. And even though I absolutely hated school and I knew that I didn't want to be doing it for a while, I honestly didn't even want to go to university in the first place. But this self-perception was so strong that there was absolutely no room to question it at all. And it took literal years for me to change this. And I think my mind was just so strongly resisting the transition from this idea of who I am to the reality of who I am. Another example of a mental transition that I struggle with is a lot around food. I feel like if I'm anticipating eating something at a certain time, I get ready for it. Like I start to transition in my mind. So if I've been anticipating that food and like that sensory experience all day, and then I find out at the last minute that it's not going to be possible, sometimes I just physically feel nauseous at the thought of eating anything else. It's just so hard for me to move away and transition from the idea that I'll be eating that to something else. And relating it back to self-image, I feel like this is something that gets in the way of me actually trying new foods. Part of it is that I develop beliefs around who I am in terms of like the food that I eat or don't eat. So I feel like I'm just a person that doesn't eat strawberries, and that's the end of the story. It feels like it goes beyond things just being a food that I don't like, if that makes sense. Let me know if you can relate to either of these examples or if you have other examples to share in the comments. It can just feel really hard to grow and develop and change as a person when it's so hard to transition between my own ideas of who I am.